As inspired by Jack Edwards, through the power of trickle-down bookonomics, here are 10 books shorter than the TikTok ban. Minor details. Now, this is a dual POV, one of them being from the perspective of a soldier who captures and kills a Palestinian woman, and then years later another woman becomes obsessed with her story and tries to find out the truth. Now, I will say there are a lot of trigger warnings in this book, and those aspects are very respectfully dealt with, so take from that what you will, but it is an amazing book. The author has done an amazing job. Written on the body. Now, this follows our unnamed narrator as she starts an affair with a married woman. The plot sounds rather banal, but the prose is not. This is beautiful. It was one of my favourite books of last year, and that's about it. I'm not going to say much more. This is How You Lose the Time War. Now, this is a book about two rivaling time spies who are leaving messages for each other throughout time. It's very unlikely, this correspondence, that they strike up and they end up falling in love. As you can tell, I absolutely love this book, and I think you will too. Assembly is the story of a young black woman who's very career-driven, very independent, and preparing for her boyfriend's garden party when she's hit with some life-altering news. Now, I love how Natasha Brown takes these very nuanced topics, breaks them down, makes them palatable, and yet so beautiful still. She has a new book called Universality coming out this year, and I have an arc of it. It's amazing. I hope you guys check out both of them. Hour of the Star follows a young woman through the lens of a young man, and she's living her life. She's very resigned to her own fate, and she's very happy with it, but then things keep happening to her and she starts to want more and more, and yet she just can't quite reach it. This book has no plot, but the prose is one of a kind. This was my first Lispector, and I can't wait to read more. Letters to a Young Poet follows a correspondence between Rocha and a young cadet slash poet, and it talks on everything that an artist would want to know. This book is so short and so beautiful, and you really feel like you get an insight into Rocha's thinking through it. It was my first Rocha, and honestly, so short, so worth it. Sula is the story of two young women, Sula being the one who leaves her hometown, goes to live her life, and then returns, and Nell being the one who stays there, gets married, and starts building a life, and then Sula comes tumbling back in and starts to cause havoc. This book is a really fundamental text on friendship to me. Not ideal friendship, but friendship nonetheless, and it's really beautiful. It was my first Morrison, and I can't wait to read more. They Fell Like Stars in the Sky is a short story collection following the stories of the Bedouin women in Palestine, and every short story is just the right size. I hate when a short story feels too long or too short. They have got it so perfect, and it just talks about identity and the prejudices and cultural expectations that these women have to uphold. It's absolutely beautiful and one of my favourite books of last year.